This shows you as heavy as I was.
It's called acanthosis.
18+% of our children right now are obese.
How out are you?
About 280.
If you go with the flow in America today, you will end up overweight or obese, as 2/3 of Americans do.
I don't want to be fat for the rest of my life. I've got diabetes,
Sleep apnea.
high blood pressure.
I get dizzy when I get up.
Everything's hurting now. You don't crave broccoli, and our generation has grown up craving a Big Mac.
We have built a cheap food model, and that's the one we're dealing with right now.
It's so hard to combat against what the TV's telling you about your kids.
The kind of food that we eat is the kind that's most profitable.
Local and regional foods taste better.
The weight of the nation is out of control, but we can fix that.
How do you like the market?
Market mean everything for this neighborhood.
We have got to come together as a country and really make this a priority.
As long as we stick together, that's what it's about.
It's not only health, it's about survival and well-being of the United States as a nation.
The reason we have government in the first place is to solve problems collectively that we can't solve individually.
If we don't now take this as a really serious, urgent national priority, we are, all of us individually and as a nation, going to pay a really serious price.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Come sit.
I always say this is the biggest I'm ever going to be, and I said that like 20 pounds ago.
This is crazy. I'm sick. I'm tired.
Sometimes when I walk upstairs, I feel like a bucket of bolts.
How did I become what I am now? I can't seem to lose weight, no matter how hard I try.
Where do I start?
What could I do to change?
What can I do?
What can I do?
I want to think that there's something better for me.
You start by giving us your height and weight.
I'm 5'10" and 242 pounds.
Why are you fat?
I just love good food, what I consider to be good food. I love burgers. I'm a big burger fan. I got a cheeseburger tattooed on my knee.
Can I see it?
Absolutely. You got the ketchup, you got the mustard. Yeah, I love cheeseburgers, man. See, that's the thing, is I know what to do. I just can't do it sometimes.
With the RDX full stomach reducing plan, you fill your stomach, yet fat just seems to melt away. And safe, pleasant tasting RDX tablets contain no dangerous drugs, no hormones.
Will there ever be a magic bullet that just instantly helps us lose weight? Please? Please?
We can do something about this. We are not doomed to this situation, but it's going to take a combination of rigorous research to understand the causes and also to identify interventions that work and that we can demonstrate work in the real world, not in some artificial ivory tower way.
Keep it up. You can do it. Try to push. Try to push. That's it, right? Keep it at 60. Snap it.
Okay. What we're doing now is to get a metabolic signature at rest and at peak exercise. This blood actually contains a different metabolic profile than this blood does.
The science of obesity has exploded in the last 15 to 20 years.
Sit inside, breathe normally.
As we learn more and more about the basic science of what drives obesity, we can develop better therapies to treat and prevent obesity.
All right, Dad, just give me a thumbs up if you're doing okay in there.
There's a projector, and what's being projected to him
are these images here. We're looking at changes in blood flow to brain regions as they become active.
Was my brain more responsive to something that was more pleasurable than something that was neutral or not as pleasurable?
That's absolutely the case, and in fact, that's what this image shows.
We now understand many of the factors that regulate food intake that we never understood before, that we never knew existed before. It's still not enough.
You can talk about obesity prevention here. If you can sustain somebody at a lower weight early, that you'll prevent it. But once you get here,
yeah, it's over with.
It's over with.
There's some pretty clear advice that follows from this research that's gone on. Fad diets, diets that haven't been scientifically tested, things that promise miracles, because there really isn't such a thing as a miracle here. So if you're promised it, it's a pretty good idea to run in the other direction.
But people want to hear that quick fix. People don't want to hear eat more fruits and vegetables, lean food, and less fried food. Nobody wants to hear it. It's like a boring story, no action. It's not a thriller. The weight that I am now, I haven't been in over 20 years. Anybody that sees me, Yolanda, you look so good. What are you doing? What are you doing? And as soon as I tell them, they tune me out. My doctor's office that I went to, she didn't have a scale that weighed me. So for quite some time, I really never knew how much I weighed. My mother would make comments, I look a little tight on you. So I finally bought a scale that went up to 450 pounds, and I got on it, and I was 430 pounds. I didn't say nothing to anyone, because I'm like, wow, you're 70 pounds from 500. Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
All right.
Hi, Yolanda.
Hi, Dr. Klein.
Now you've been with us for a year and a half.
Uh-huh.
And you have lost about 20% of your body weight, going from 409 to 328 pounds over the last year and a half, which is quite remarkable.
And today it was 324.
324, so even more today.
Yes.
So you broke the 20% mark. How have you been able to do it?
The biggest part of it has been the lifestyle change on eating, learning how to create new habits and better alternatives.
You achieved that very, very successfully. Yolanda achieved successful weight loss because she was able to incorporate the principles she learned in her weight management program into her daily life. But it requires a considerable amount of work and attention to detail.
You gotta start somewhere. So what I did was I committed to looking at how many calories I drank. And I just did that. And when I was up to 2,000 calories in just drinking, because you get McDonald's, everybody, okay, no soda, but you get the sweet tea. And before you knew it, you haven't eaten any food, but you've had your caloric intake for the day. We don't realize consciously of what we're drinking and eating. My skinny would be about 225, I think, with my height. I think that would be great for me. I think I'll probably be maybe a 16 or 18. Probably 18 would be great. 16, you know, watch out. I might be on somebody's beach in a bikini.
Yolanda, how are things going? How was this week?
This month has been kind of hard for me because I was back nibbling. So what I had to do was the celery sticks again and put them on the counter.
Sometimes it's a
We support each other. If you have a great week, we're cheering for you. If you have a bad week, we're cheering for you. I didn't get any cookies.
I was going to ask you. It's almost like she can read my mind.
Cookies.
You didn't get any cookies?
Did you get a Kit Kat?
No, didn't get a Kit Kat. I have this thing with Kit Kats. 4 bars is 210 calories. I break it in half and I throw the half out the window. So now I've just eaten a 105 calorie snack. So I got my chocolate fix on. They said, but why you throw it away? Why you don't save it till later? I said, because I'll probably have an accident trying to reach for it to pick it back up and eat the other half. In my purse, I carry the calorie king. I look at what I'm eating before I eat it. I can account for those calories. Good morning. Hello, good morning, ladies. Okay, and you got the sandwich. All right. You're welcome. A lot of times I skip breakfast. As soon as the bacon came out, I grabbed a piece of bacon. Then the sausage came out, grabbed a piece of sausage. Then made an egg. Oops, I made too much for them. So I ate that egg. So ended up, I said I wasn't eating breakfast, but I didn't know what I was eating and how much I was eating because it was a constant nibbling here and there. So I had to become more structured. I had to plan for my day. I had to come in and say, this is breakfast time. Eat your oatmeal and 2 pieces of turkey sausage. I'm very proud of myself. I'm very proud that I've decided to become a healthier person.
I've always been overweight. I mean, I can't say I've tried every diet, but I've tried most of the popular diets at one time or another.
I have tried all sorts of diets. Can I name them?
Nutrisystem.
South
The South Beach diet was probably my most successful one.
Cabbage soup diet.
It's a 7-day diet where you're pretty much just drinking cabbage soup.
The Atkins diet.
Atkins diet.
Atkins.
The
Atkins.
diets. The healthy fats, the low fats, the non-fats.
The low carb. All I ate were chicken tenders and chicken wings.
The Master's Cleanse. Lemonade and cayenne pepper and maple syrup mixture that Beyonce did so I could get skinny like Beyonce. And that didn't work for me.
Weight Watchers. Everything, except for the unpractical ones. I don't like the cookie diet, that's just stupid.
And you're paying out thousands of dollars and nothing ever works. You might lose a few pounds, but nothing sticks, nothing's right.
The diet industry has no reason to solve the problem. Solving the problem puts them out of business. Almost all diets are just low-calorie plans masquerading as some secret.
In order to lose weight and keep it off, people have to do an awful lot of hard work. They have to eat less and exercise more, they need to eat a balanced diet, and they need to be vigilant over a long period of time.
No publishing company is going to publish a book that says just eat a little bit less and move a little more. You gotta have a hook or a gimmick.
One of the myths that's out there is that if you eat a calorie of fat, it's different than a calorie of lettuce or a calorie of candy or a calorie of pumpkin pie. For all intents and purposes, a calorie is a calorie.
There are only 3 macronutrients, and that's fats, carbohydrates, and protein. Diets are generally based on eliminating one of those 3 food groups. But if we just cut back on all of them and just ate less, that would work.
The laws of physics, as we say, relate to the regulation of body weight. Energy in, energy out. If you are taking even slight excess of energy in versus what you're expending, you will gradually put on weight.
One thing that the diet industry knows that we don't know, that it's a lot easier to lose weight than it is to keep weight off. That's why even if you look at a lot of the diet plans that are out there, they're all focused on losing weight, not on maintaining what you've lost.
How many pounds have you lost in a lifetime?
Oh, mercy. Goodness gracious, do you have a calculator?
Upwards of 200 pounds 3 times in my life.
40, 45 pounds, 53 pounds.
Of course, I'm a backsliding sinner, so after about a year, I was ballooning back up.
But now I done gained that back. I've gained all of that 45 back.
I would lose 20 pounds, gain back 40.
I'm definitely a yo-yo dieter.
I'd say probably close to 300 pounds.
I can regain it literally almost in a weekend sometimes, 10 pounds, where another person could have the same food and wouldn't have an issue at all.
It definitely feels like my body has a set point that it's fighting me to keep.
Individuals losing weight are not metabolically the same as they were before they lost weight. Consider 2 individuals, same gender, same age, exactly the same body weight. One of whom is at that body weight as a result of, let's say, a 10 or a 15% weight reduction, and the other who's been at that weight for their entire adult life. The weight-reduced individual will be requiring about 20% less calories per day relative to what somebody of that weight who's never lost weight would eat, or eat 10% less and increase their physical activity by 10% in order to keep at that body weight. If that reduced individual goes out to lunch with her friend and they both order the same meal, that will represent a 20% overeating for the weight-reduced individual, quite normal for the individual who's not in that state. 20% may sound like a little, but 20% excess caloric intake a year will account for the inexorable weight regain. As far as we know, this phenomenon does not go away. So being successful for a year or 2 doesn't mean that you're going to be able to go back to eating at the rate that would be appropriate for a person who'd never lost weight.
Does the struggle ever seem sort of unfair?
Sure, it does seem unfair. It's unfair that, I can't just lose the weight and go back to the way a normal thin person lives their life, but that's part of the price you pay for allowing yourself to get overweight in the first place.
I'm pre-diabetic. I'm borderline on the verge of having to do something serious about it.
I was diagnosed type 2 diabetic. He's borderline diabetes.
I'm borderline diabetic.
I've been told I'm borderline diabetic or possibly hypoglycemic.
I've got diabetes. I've got high blood pressure. I'm on cholesterol medicine. I'm on medications for all those because of my diabetes.
I may be pre-diabetic. What do I need to do to prevent it?
We now know very well from a number of very well-conducted research studies that they can reduce their risk dramatically. We had a study that was sponsored by the National Institutes of Health called the Diabetes Prevention Program, and it was a research study to determine whether we could decrease the development of diabetes in people who are identified as being at very high risk. We identified what we thought were the leading risk factors. For example, sedentary lifestyle, not enough physical activity, increased body mass. And we thought if we could reverse these environmental factors, that led to the development of diabetes and correct them with a lifestyle intervention. Could we decrease the development of diabetes in this population?
Okay, ready, together. All right. Sounds good. 1, 2, 3. No crash on that one. 2 gutter balls.
We have this remarkable set of identical twins, the Daly brothers. 12 years ago, one of the brothers, Tim, came to us and joined the diabetes prevention program as a research volunteer. He still doesn't have diabetes, while his brother Paul recently started on insulin. I mean, he's gone through the usual steps of worsening diabetes over time.
I get this big kiss. A big wet kiss, huh? Oh, whoa, Nelly! Well, it wasn't the shoes. Must be the weight. Gotta get this weight off. 81, 74, 10.
Timothy Patrick Walter Daly, and I'm 5 feet 10 inches and 192 pounds right now at the moment.
Paul Francis Gerard Daly, 5 foot 8 3/4.
You shrunk?
And about 240.
Chest bump?
Yeah. It's been 12 years. Wow. I remember we were working at the video store together, and Paul was heavier than I was then.
I was probably 25 pounds heavier than he was. He was more active. He played basketball once a week.
I ran.
I was more sedentary than him. I probably didn't tell him at the time that the doctor said
Come to find out
that I was
yesterday.
borderline diabetic. I ignored it. All of a sudden, I have this thirst that I cannot quench. I'm drinking. So I had to go see the doctor. And then it was, yes, you're a diabetic. We're going to put you on medication. And that's when they kind of hit you in the gut, because then you realize how your life is going to change.
The risk that one twin will get diabetes if the other twin has it is actually 95%. I was at my sister-in-law's house, and a friend of hers had a brochure about this diabetes prevention study. They do all the tests, the blood work and everything. Your blood sugar's high, you're at risk. And thank God I got into the
So,
study.
no, I didn't know that. So you were at risk at that time?
Yes.
So
they
your
had-
blood sugar was high?
Because of the family history, and also because the blood sugar was elevated.
Oh.
The goal was to try to get people to lose some weight and 7% of their initial body weight.
When I went into the study, I was a little over 200 pounds, losing 7%, which for me was 14 pounds. You know, no disrespect, but whoop-de-doo. And it was work. I'll be honest with you, it was work. I can't say whoop-de-doo, but it was work.
In addition, we wanted them to increase their activity levels. And what we wanted them to do was increase it to at least 150 minutes more per week than they were doing currently.
Which, if you think about it, that's not much at all. So within 6 months, I dropped the 7%. There's my numbers. My numbers were ideal. I mean, they were fine.
What we found in the first phase of the study, which went on for about an average of 3 years, was that we could decrease the development of diabetes with this lifestyle intervention by 58%. With identical twins, you can separate out environmental factors from genetic factors. What Tim Daly has done is he's taken the weight and the activity level out of the equation.
I mean, how much more proof can you have of someone that has the same genes as you that has diabetes? And really the only difference is the weight.
There's Dr. Lee.
The Dalys, how are you?
Good, how are you, sir?
Nice to see you both. Thank you
Excellent,
both for
thanks
coming
to you.
in to see you. Yeah. I'm not sure about that.
I'm a work in progress still, Doctor.
You look at the two of you. It's like looking in a mirror. Look at this. And he's got an extra, and look where the weight is.
Yep.
That's
all right
actually,
there.
it's all right there. And we know putting that weight around the middle, which seems to lead to the biochemical mischief that leads to diabetes and blood pressure and is associated with heart disease and all that stuff. The mall walking that he does, you start doing that, and it doesn't take a huge loss of weight. You know, there's some idea that, oh, I've got to get down to the weight I was in high school or something. Really, 10, 20 pounds is enough to improve diabetes once you have it.
After talking to Dr. Nathan, he said, Paul, you don't have to be on insulin for the rest of your life. You just have to work harder.
The old muscles aren't what they used to be, Tim. I think I pulled one. Yeah. I'll let you finish up.
I see myself as a cautionary tale, especially where Tim, right here, doesn't have it because he worked harder at it when he found out I had it. I kind of gave into it, and that was probably the worst decision I've ever made in my life. We are fighting this together. Tim's my inspiration.
I really want you to commit to yourself, for yourself, and to me too, because we're so close. That you can do it. I know you can do it. If you commit to it.
Every day, I've got
get
to
up
commit
every
to
morning
them,
and
yeah.
say, I'm going to do it. I will lose the 7%.
Hey, Vivia.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
My name is Vivia. I am 27 years old. I am 5'5" in height, and I weigh 341 pounds. In the 5th grade, which was the same time that my father had passed away at the age of 53, and I was 10 years old, I used to get poked in the back with pencils because they wanted to see if I was gonna pop. Whenever there was a big boy in school, they would try to match me with him. Like, you like Big Reggie. Yeah, Vivian and Big Reggie, they go together. It's like, why I gotta like Big Reggie? Because he's big? I do not have a sexually active life. I've been told, numerous times, there's guys that like big girls. I don't want a guy that likes a big girl. I just want a guy that likes me. I don't want a chubby chaser. My relationship with food has very different dimensions. Food can be my best friend. Food can be my boyfriend at the moment. Food can be a vacation to the beach when I can't afford to go. If I were not obese, I would have no hesitation in doing the things I want to do, going to places I want to go, trying for things that I want to accomplish. I could go on a roller coaster. I would skydive if I wasn't obese. I would be able to roller skate. I would probably pursue dating if I were not obese. And I would have a little Vivia. I want her to be Vivia the second. I shouldn't deprive the world of that. They need another me.
When it comes to fighting obesity, what's the best single thing that I can do for me and my family?
Soda and other sugary drinks are the #1 source of calories in our diet, and the only individual food that's actually directly linked to obesity. These drinks are making us fat.
There is nothing in a soft drink that is good for you.
A Twinkie or a potato chip or a candy bar has at least a little nutrition with it. These sugared beverages have none at all. Sugar teas, energy drinks, sports drinks, flavored waters even, they're completely empty calories.
Everyone seems to think a day without orange juice is like a day without sunshine. Juice is just like soda. And I'm saying it right here on camera. There is no difference. When you take fruit and you squeeze it. You throw the fiber in the garbage. That was the good part of the fruit. The juice is nature's way of getting you to eat your fiber.
The body doesn't seem to recognize calories very well when they get delivered in liquids.
Our thirst mechanism is independent of our hunger mechanism. When we drink these calories, it doesn't fill us. We don't compensate by cutting our food intake.
In the war on obesity, they're not the only problem, but it's a darn good place to start.
Priscilla, what's the craziest way you ever tried to lose weight?
Oh, I think everybody knows this. It's the 3-day diet. Toast with 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, 8 ounces of grapefruit juice, a half a can of tuna, 5 saltine crackers, a half a cup of green beans, 3 ounces of meat, any style, it doesn't say, a small apple, and 1 cup of ice cream, okay? And if you do this 3 days, you will lose 5 pounds, okay? I think any time that you go on a restricted diet or you do anything that's extreme, it's going to come back and bite you.
There's a lot of very, very low calorie diets that are out there on the market. We often see this. Men will say they've gone on a diet and they are able to, cinch their belt in a little bit quicker. Men deposit their fat in this visceral depot, the beer belly location. That's the easiest place for you to break those calories down for energy. When you go on these really low calorie diets, your metabolism actually slows down significantly. What happens specifically in women, we fight against losing weight in our hips and thighs.
Girls, let's call a spade a spade. Now, if you have a figure problem, if you want to improve the bust line, or the waist, or the hips, or the thighs, or the calves of the legs, or if you're getting a double chin, the secret is what? Corrective systematic exercise.
Physical fitness has to be a state of mind. The important thing is to stick with your exercise. Make it a daily routine, like eating.
It's a good idea to warm up.
All of your objectives will be easier to reach if you are physically fit.
I don't know if there are any myths about exercise and weight loss, but there are certain realities that are unavoidable.
People seem to have this tremendous misconception about how much they have to exercise to lose weight.
To burn 100 calories, one has to run about a mile. So think about that. 1 donut.
If you were out there running 3 miles for 30 minutes, you could come back and you could undo all of that goodness in about 45 seconds by picking up a candy bar and wolfing it down.
20 minutes of jogging is 1 chocolate chip cookie.
Nobody believes you burn as few calories as you do when you exercise.
To really lose weight, you have to do a whole lot of exercise.
You don't walk in here unless you're ready to work. No. Rudy, it's never going to stop until you die. I want to hear you scream.
I cringe when I see The Biggest Loser. It can actually do a disservice seeing this rapid weight loss that they achieve on television that is just not doable under normal circumstances in the real world. They focus on physical activity and exercise as the major therapeutic approach for treating obese patients, and we know that that's just not correct.
When you're overweight, it's a lot easier to lose weight by reducing what you're eating than it is by increasing physical activity substantially.
It's a heck of a lot more simple to modify portion size, to modify our intake, if you will.
I believe that in terms of obesity prevention, that both strategies are important.
A combination of aerobic and resistance training is the most effective, both in terms of sustaining weight loss and also in terms of reducing other risk factors.
physical activity really is the wonder drug. If you have regular physical activity, you're less likely to have high blood pressure, less likely to have cancer, less likely to become depressed, less likely to be injured, less likely to have arthritis, less likely to have osteoporosis, more likely to feel better about yourself and be more productive at work.
This morning, let's have some fun. Let's pretend that you and I were marching down the road to health and happiness together. So we'll really do some good marching. Everybody together, come on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. How does the soldier march? This in, shoulders back, head up. Big smile, come on. Gertrude, you're so graceful this morning. 1, 2, up, down, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Pull the waist in, that's it. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and rest. 1, 2, hold.
Bill, tell me right now, why are you obese?
A lot has to do with some of the job situations that I'm in. I have very long work days. I'm out of the house by about 5:30 in the morning, don't get home till about 6. And so I've had a struggle motivating myself to get up early and exercise. I'm out with clients for lunch and don't typically make the better choices that I should be making.
We have a lot of mandatory overtime. You do get, your 2 15-minute breaks a day, and you get a half an hour for lunch. You still have to get to the restroom. You still have to get your water filled up, all those things. And so many of us have our desk drawers just filled with snack food.
When I'm sitting at my desk and I'm either frustrated, with what I'm working on, or I want to get up and do something else, but I have to sit there, that my emotions can lead me to eat, to snack, something else to do with your hands.
Like boredom?
Right, maybe that too. Mm-hmm. What can I do about it?
Thank you for calling Value Place Memphis. My name is Shannon. How can I help you? That's usually Sunday through Thursdays. And you're staying Friday and Saturday as well.
I think I gained maybe 10 pounds in my first few months here. And then it's just, I weighed 126 and then now I'm up to like 170, I think.
Because you get bored. You just want to eat.
Some of us are here 8 hours, some of us are here 12 hours a day.
Good afternoon, Beverly. This is Gigi with InLink Reservation Services. How are you?
I work 60 hours a week. My biggest weight loss challenge has been being able to find the time to concentrate on myself. I am a single mom, and I always felt like it was selfish to concentrate on me and to make myself healthy. But when you go to the doctor and then you find out you have high blood pressure or you're borderline this or, and I think that's really a huge wake-up call. So we've all kind of collectively come together because we finally realized that living a healthy lifestyle is very, very important. It's a necessity if I want to be here for my daughter.
So we need to get things finalized for the health fair. You guys all know who you need to contact to get people there. I know, Pam, you're taking care of the nurse to come for the blood pressure.
I'll be weighing people too, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so just make sure that you just let people know not to feel uncomfortable, so. We formed a wellness committee here about 3 months ago to promote health and wellness in every aspect, mental, physical, emotional, but really the physical challenges that we face here. It is an employee-run wellness committee.
We have a month, so this is crunch time.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
And for the record, blue team's gonna kick y'all's butt.
Agreed. I'm sorry, the black team is. Black team.
For lunch, we would typically get fast food. Especially delivered, pizza, Chinese.
We had a healthy lunch challenge, which Gigi's really helped promote. So making healthy lunch options, they can mark that off on their list that they chose Subway or a home-cooked meal instead of McDonald's or any other fast food restaurants.
I bring little snacks in little Ziploc snack bags. And I just go around and ask, anybody want a snack? Normally, they do not turn it down. I bring in grapes and carrots. Most of the time, the grapes go quicker than the carrots, but they love it.
I'm in charge of the bulletin board, so I'm the keeper of the stars when everybody tries their fruits and vegetables of the month.
And we just encourage each other.
Currently, we are doing a walking challenge.
At lunch, we go out and we walk about 2 miles. People now, instead of going and grabbing a soda for their 15-minute break, they're walking around the building. Weighing in at 400 pounds at 40 years old was just, I didn't know how I got there. I don't want to live like this anymore. I started off at 400 pounds 3 months ago, and I'm almost at a 50-pound loss. I've had the support of the whole company, but these ones right here are very special and dear to my heart. They've cheered me on, they write me messages, they call me, email me. I really couldn't have done it without their support, and I love every one of you guys.
We love you.
Thank you.
We love you, Gigi.
Something at work will happen, it'll trigger, screw this, I'm going out and getting a pizza and a beer.
If I have a lot of work.
My ex-wife.
Recently been through a divorce.
Fights with my ex-wife mainly, these days.
I have 2 small children.
We all kind of know what's happened in the last few years with building industry and everything.
You never know until the very last minute if you're gonna get paid, you're gonna be able to make your mortgage payment the next month, that kind of thing.
I've gained probably 30 pounds since that divorce.
Probably about 50 pounds, yeah, in the last 4 years.
Just seems like when I'm stressed out, it just comes on like this.
So you're a stress eater?
Stress eater, definitely.
It's really not just about what we're eating, but it's about what is eating you. We have an epidemic of obesity. We also have an epidemic of stress, and the two are feeding each other. During times of stress, when we need to be really efficient and replenish our calories, our natural, hardwired reaction is to reach for the highly palatable food, the donuts, the chocolate, food with a lot of fat, sugar, salt. The body wants dense calories. Now, why is that? When we were hunters and gatherers, it made all the sense in the world that when we're under stress, during times of famine, periods of hunting and escaping predators, we're going to need to replenish our energy stores. When we're stressed, we're changing the biochemistry of our blood. It starts with a perception of threat in the brain. Something's wrong. The chemical signal triggers the adrenal glands to release adrenaline and cortisol, and this combination, which I call stress soup, turn on enzymes that then turn the fat cell into a fat-storing machine. Our body pours this cortisol into the blood and alerts the brain to look out for those sweet, high-fat foods. So it's not just how much we eat, but it's how much stress soup is there at this moment in our blood. And that's going to determine if we're in fat-storing mode or fat-burning. When cortisol has stimulated our appetite, it's one of the strongest drives we have, like the drive to seek a drug. We're chronically stressed. So when we're surrounded by palatable, abundant food, we are destined to eat it. What we need to do is take some control back.
Today, we're going to work with chocolate. Is that okay? Okay.
We have to.
We have to, okay. We've got brownies. Here we go. So everyone has their plates. And as we usually do, we're going to start by moving into a place of mindfulness, letting go of any place in your body that feels a little tense at the moment.
One of the strategies that we teach is to do a mini meditation throughout the day and check in with their bodies. And we especially want people to do that right before a meal.
Take one of the pieces, bringing this up to your nose, noticing any feelings or thoughts you're having from the smell of this.
They become in tune with their body and their body's needs, and then they can eat based on caloric need, not emotional need.
How was that? What did you notice?
I was thinking I want ice cream. So that helped because it wasn't ice cream. So I was just like, this is not ice cream. I want ice cream, so I don't need to eat. So I stopped after you said it's up to you to choose to eat or not.
The smell is so good. You know, when I first smelled it, like, oh, I have to have a bite. And then I had a bite, and then smelling it again, I was like, oh, that's what I really like. You know, do I really need another bite? And that satisfied it for me. Doesn't always do that. Sometimes I think I want to eat more, but
sometimes like I eat too fast and I look and I'm like, who ate my food? And you don't even realize that you ate your food. You weren't mindful about it. And this totally helps with that.
Exercise is probably one of the most powerful stress buffering activities we can do. It affects how we think and feel and the level of opioids in the brain. For the comfort food eaters and the emotional eaters, you can't just take away the comfort food. People are going to feel bad and it's not going to work for very long. Exercise can actually keep our brain at that same level of opioids that we need, so we don't need to turn to food.
I've got something that's pretty interesting here. It's a reminder to me of how much weight I actually have lost. It may be heavier than it looks. It weighs 48 pounds. And now I'm actually down 60 pounds. I keep it where I can see it almost every day. When I drop it, it's heavy. This is probably the lightest I've been in my adult life. As a police officer, I worked irregular hours, I ate irregularly, a lot of fast food. My mother actually died of heart disease at age 57, and I'm 56, and I got to a place where I almost thought, well, she lived a good life. I was pretty resigned to being the way I was. Mindless eating would describe me very well. I would eat a sandwich in 5 bites, and now I'll eat a piece of toast in 12 bites. Mindfulness is about being aware. The best thing I do at a meal is to stop initially and observe the food, take in just the sight, the sense of the food and where it came from, its origin, and what it does for you.
Yes. God, doesn't it ever?
You actually examine your food and you like smell it and you look at it. It's a way to eat with all your senses. As of today, I've lost 12 pounds. Diet equals restriction, whereas mindfulness equals paying attention. And so that's kind of my motto going forward is like, okay, pay attention to your life and pay attention to what you're eating and like how you're feeling, and not diet, don't restrict.
It's flipped the switch for me. And now I'm looking forward to hopefully a nice old age.
I'm 5'5" and I weigh 415 pounds.
Approximately like 500 pounds.
I'm 6 feet and I weigh approximately 627.
I've been having pain on my knees, my elbows, my hands. Everything's hurting now. I hope one day I could change everything and I could live a 27-year-old life. How am I gonna be thinking about marriage? How am I gonna be thinking about having kids?
I have a family of 5, and you know that we do not have a family photo. We just don't. My kid should be able to see that on the wall.
It's like I'm in some kind of prison. I get so angry. I can't do stuff as simple as putting on a sock.
What was the low point for you?
I sat down on a toilet seat and it broke. I just couldn't believe I gotten to the point where I was so obese that I broke a toilet seat.
I need to find something that works for me, because it's you know, I might see somebody that lose weight and I try what they tried and it just doesn't work for me.
There's a great question that we have yet to answer about who are the people that are the optimal group to have bariatric surgery. As a surgeon who deals with folks who are struggling with obesity, I personally believe that we should be targeting people who are on the heavier and sicker side of the spectrum. You know, some people make judgments about people who decide they're going to have obesity surgery. They think that they're maybe weak or don't have strong character, that they cop out, that they need to do an operation instead of doing the hard work of diet and exercise. And I think when you see the people who've gone through this struggle, you realize it's exactly the opposite.
Please rise. Court is again in session.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated.
Hi, Mr. Prosecutor, you want to bring your witness back to the stand, please? Just walking upstairs to get to my job is a very painful experience. My knees are stressed to the max.
I first met Daryl almost 8 months ago. He was really struggling with the effects of obesity. Horrible diabetes that needed more and more medication to control, high blood pressure. He thought the weight was going to kill him.
If I set my mind to it, I can do almost anything. Why can't I solve this problem? It's not a question of willpower. It's not a question of brain power. I didn't get through law school because I couldn't study. Any of the things that I've done as a judge, I've been very successful and enjoyed my career. But I can't solve this problem. Cannot. So this is a tool I'm going to get to help me do that. Winnie has to get up really early, give up her beauty sleep, because we have to be there at 5:30. The doctor has said that they want last will and testament, and I know that you're concerned about whether you're in it or not. You're not. I'm 63. Life expectancy at this weight is less than 10 years. I don't want that to be the case. Yeah, you're back to the big guy. You're back to the big guy. I've got a young wife, young kids. I got lots of things to do in life.
Just a little bit nervous about this. I'll be here for my husband, no matter what, and, you know.
I guess I have to forfeit my country burger card, don't I? So the farther we go, the slower we have to go because my legs don't handle it, okay? So I'm not sure how far the walk is.
What we're doing in a Roux-en-Y gastric bypass, it's taking the stomach and cutting off a small part of it by applying a stapler here and here, creating an egg-sized new stomach. We map out about 2 feet of the small intestine, and that stomach is reconnected to the intestinal tract and then reconnected to the intestinal tract down here. The normal digestive pathway is no longer through this part of the intestines and down. It's at this point right here where digestion starts to occur. For about 2 or 3 feet, Food that passes from that new stomach pouch in through that tunnel of small intestine is not being digested. The operation works 3 ways. 1, by restricting the amount of food you can eat. 2, because while food is traveling in here, it's probably not being well absorbed. And 3, because the food is skipping this whole segment of stomach. And this part of the stomach is really important in stimulating your brain to be hungry. And hold for a sec right there. Make sure his arms aren't going anywhere. Legs are good. I'll let go of this. I don't want to hold the bowel too tight. The risk of death is about 1 in 300. That risk of 0.3% is something we talk with our patients about. And we try to get them to understand that 0.3% means that somebody is having a really bad outcome after surgery, and it might be you. Okay, we're now moving through the different layers of the abdominal cavity. The pink stuff is muscle. There'll be another layer behind it now. There you go, and then you see that we're in the abdominal cavity. Beautiful. Hold what you got right there for a second. This operation is easy if you're not heavy. Fortunately, we don't do it on people who aren't heavy. I'm going to ask for a blue load stapler next. So this is a stapler that we're laying on. We're creating the bottom part of a gastric pouch. That would certainly give you an egg-sized pouch. What do you think about that? Yeah? Yeah, that's good. I'm going to take it then. All right, stapler up. And that's his new stomach for life. Crazy, right? This was his old stomach, right? That's the size of a large melon. And this is now the size of an egg. I did it? Yeah. Okay, close her down. Getting that old stomach out of the way. Beautiful. This is where it's connected from stomach to small bowel. That's his new channel for food right there. That's the inside of the small bowel. The food will never go down this path again. All right, fantastic. The fascinating part about this operation, from my perspective, is just by having the food skip the main part of the stomach and the first part of the intestines, the duodenum, it seems that it turns on the machinery of the pancreas so that people who have diabetes, their pancreas functions much, much better. So much to the point that they may come off their diabetes medications altogether within a week or so of the operation.
Good evening, everybody.
Oh my God. Chinese Mrs. Mount.
How are we doing? Okay. Can I sit?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I love you. I asked the doc if I was going to be 150 pounds lighter when I woke up, and he said no. And so that's a disappointment. I'll have to work it out. And I can handle a kiss on the cheek.
If your documentary showed me coming out and talking to everybody 4 hours after the operation and everything was cool and copacetic and none of the rest of it got mentioned, be like, oh, that isn't quite how it happened.
I think I was prepared for the possibility of complications. Now, I didn't know all the bad things that could happen would happen. Something ruptured in the intestine or the stomach or something, and there was leakage into the body cavity. And then I had some really adverse reactions to the morphine. I developed something they call a fistula. It was a leakage from the old stomach, the bypass stomach, into the wound. 2 kidney stones, a blockage, serious kidney infection that became a blood infection, surgery to remove the kidney stones. 6 or 7 surgical procedures of varying seriousness. Spent a lot of time in the hospital, a total of probably close to 30 days. He's changed a lot too. We've changed together, except you've gotten bigger and I've gotten smaller. When they were here before, I didn't have a lap for you to sit on. It was all full of me. Now, I got a lap. When I entered surgery, I weighed 425 pounds. Today, I weigh 316 pounds. So the total loss in 5.5 months is 109 pounds.
Hey, nice shot. That'll get up there. I wasn't very far. No, you weren't. For me, that was a good shot.
If I hadn't been diabetic for so long, I probably would be totally off of diabetes medicine. Now I take a little bit, a very small amount of insulin.
Somewhere out there's a mountain.
I don't take blood pressure medications at all instead of the 3 I was taking before. I have never felt that the complications were a mistake that somebody made. This was not an error in judgment. This was not an error in procedures. It was a good decision for me. 6 months of discomfort is a small price to pay to have years of life and enjoyment.
The surgery is not a magic wand. What you really need to be successful after this operation is radical behavioral change. Exercising daily, a sensible diet, the right amount of multivitamins. You have the ingredients for success. I talk about this operation as being a radical step. And I think there are far less radical steps that everybody who's considering this operation should entertain. Lots of people are able to keep off the weight with behavioral changes. It's hard for them, but it's doable.
There are some people who are successful at losing, in some cases, even very large amounts, 100 pounds or more, and then are able to keep that off for the long term. When you get in and look at those individuals, you get a sense of the extreme vigilance that's necessary in order to accomplish and maintain that goal.
It takes work. It takes work to do all of this. It's a mindset.
It's
but
worth
it's so
it.
worth it. it's so worth it.
The payoff is huge.
Today, girl. I know that, but we gotta warm up first.
Okay. Warm up. Warm up is moving fast.
Yeah, I know that, but come on.
Okay.
We gotta do some warm ups. Hold it for 5. 1, 2. This is very strenuous exercise. Ready? 1, 2.
Ready? And 9:08 and go. Okay, so what are we doing? 9 miles today?
That's what the schedule says.
Do you know what today is?
Today's the 20th.
This is exactly 1 year from when we did our very first 6-mile walk ever in our lives, I swear.
Oh my God.
It was huge.
Happy anniversary.
I realize it's
It's scary to think of it, that I was at a certain weight. I never pictured myself looking like this. It's scary from where I started to where I am, because my whole life has changed.
My daughter, she's gonna kill me for this, okay? Sorry, honey. My daughter weighs 106 pounds. I've literally lost my daughter. I've literally lost a person. Do you think you and I could both fit in this?
Oh my God, look at this. It is amazing.
I really?
Yeah, it is. It's totally amazing.
You were how tall and how much did you weigh at that time?
I was 6'4". No.
I know you're still the same height.
You see, this is the hard stuff. Saying the number. This is the hard
It's
stuff.
very difficult. I'm 4'10". And when I weighed in at the doctor, I was 215 pounds. And that is a scary number. I never thought I was that weight.
I'm 5'3", and I was morbidly obese. Oh my God, well, I don't even know what I was saying there, but it was just all a cover. Like, here I am having a good time, woohoo! You know, and fat people don't have their videos taken. This is very painful for me. It's also inspirational because I've transformed my life, and I'm gonna do what it takes not to go back there. This represents about 106 pounds of weight loss. It just gives me a very objective, non-judgmental literally screenshot of where I've been, and it also keeps me focused. Yes, hi, I'd like to make an order for delivery. The chicken shish kebab, how is that made? It's just grilled, no sauce, right? Instead of the rice, can you just put extra salad? Grilled, steamed, baked, those are keywords.
My calories are so little, I try to maximize as much as I can. And a way to maximize it for me is with vegetables and salad. Sauce on the side, always on the side.
It's a budget, you know? It's like, what am I gonna spend my budget on? So you want to have a guessing game? Don't peek. How much do you think this weighs?
I'm gonna say 6.5.
6.5. You rock. You rock. So 6.5 at 52 calories an ounce for salmon. 52 is 338. Chicken kebab.
All right.
Chicken is 47 calories an ounce times 6.5. So that chicken is 305. This, I'm gonna count maybe 25 calories, what do you think? This lunch, not including dressing, is 356. Bon appetit!
What now, Rhonda?
Yes.
What is that?
Our dietitian had told us to keep a food journal. So I kept a food journal for the first week. Then I said, okay, let's do another week. And another week. This is my 4th year. Without even looking at it, I could just tell you, yesterday when I ate for breakfast, I had my Chobani non-fat yogurt, half a cup of berries, which were 45 calories, a quarter of a cup of pure pumpkin, and I added cinnamon and vanilla to that, and then I had it with coffee. My whole breakfast was 205 calories, 19 grams of protein, and 3.5 grams of fiber.
Which will take you a long ways. You want to do a hill? You want to get heart rate up?
Oh, yep.
Okay, come on.
Oh, man. It's cold enough. My heart rate is going.
Two years ago, I couldn't walk a block without huffing and puffing. I mean, and I'm not exaggerating. I really couldn't. That's 110 steps. And now I do 15 to 20,000 steps every day. Now, I look for hills. This is easy now. You're gonna lose weight by eating less. But once your weight is off, exercise is the #1 predictor of keeping weight off. Oh, look at the sun. It's like the Bahamas.
On a bad day. At night, I will stand in front of my TV and God's honest truth, I walk in place, and it could be up to 4,000 or 5,000 steps. And how do I know that? I wear a pedometer every single day.
Me too. It's good to have a partner. You know, we're a team. We're a team.
Oh, yes, we are. I don't like the word willpower. I don't use that word. What I use is something that's achievable. I will pick one small thing, and it could be as little as just drinking 8 glasses of water each day. You have to master that. And then once I master that, I then go on to the next little thing. And that could be something as little as eating breakfast every day.
I make my goals very, very small.
Yes.
Small enough so they can be 100% achievable.
Correct.
I'm just an ordinary person who does a whole bunch of very, very tiny, ordinary things that together are extraordinary.
Everyone has the power to lose weight and become healthier. Never give up. This is a lifelong process. You never know which attempt will allow you to achieve long-term success.
We're in the midst of an epidemic of childhood obesity, with childhood obesity rates tripling in just a generation.
The evidence is incontrovertible that children who are obese are at greater risk for a variety of health problems.
Estimates are that 1 in 3 children born in the year 2000 will develop diabetes sometime in their lifetime. And this is a direct consequence of the obesity epidemic.
When I walk into a room, people don't look at me. They look at my size, and they don't want to get to know me.
I've struggled with my weight all my life.
It's important for the parent to understand that there are all these forces working against them.
Food marketing directed at kids. It's powerful, it's pernicious, and it's predatory.
All across the country, only 1 out of 6 schools require PE at least 3 days a week.
A lot of school cafeterias will have stations set up where children can buy chicken nuggets, French fries, hot dogs, pizza, fast food, and unhealthy food.
The obesity crisis is a moral challenge for us as a society. What kind of society do we owe all of our children?